So supposedly there's yet again another reminder, at least when it comes to Onyx, they say how there's only pretty much 10 days to go until the mainnet of Goliath, which is their layer 1 blockchain. Now, nothing I say is financial advice, but people like to tell me, who cares about this? Seriously, they like to say that, right? Because they say, oh, it's like watching Jumanji for the 50th time. It's like, all right, okay, we get the story now. But here's the thing. Why do I think it's pretty cool? Well, it's because even though it's probably not aligning well with the altcoin space as of right now when it comes to the sentiment, it's a positive step in the right direction, in my opinion, because, launching a layer 1 blockchain in terms of the mainnet, why is that a bad thing? But it takes quite a while, right? But as of right now, a lot of individuals out there, they care more about, what could the instant effects be? What could things do instantaneously? But I feel like this one, it's a little bit of a different thing. It's a little bit of a slow moving vibe, in my opinion, in a sense where launching their layer 1 blockchain in terms of the mainnet, like in around 10 days, basically, it's not really going to do much, I think, in and of itself to the charts when it comes to XCN. Like, it's not really going to do anything, in my opinion, if the sentiment doesn't change. But what could this do? This could have, I think, future implications in a sense where it could, I think, harness better adoption when it comes to Onyx, right? Why not? It doesn't mean it will, but maybe. It's like, let's say, me acquiring a property for the intent of renting it out. Now, me renting it out the first month, the second month, the third month, am I going to be able to break even on the property purchase? Absolutely not, right? Probably, but I'm just saying, in this make-believe hypothetical scenario, but it could matter like years down the line, right? After, people keep renting it out and all this type of stuff, maybe I do Airbnb or whatnot, it could matter later on, but it's like more of a slow-moving thing. It's like cooking brisket, it doesn't happen in like 2 minutes, in my opinion, maybe. But I'm just saying, it's a little bit of a different vibe here. So yes, XCN is not doing good, but this could have maybe major future implications moving forward, again, when it comes to Goliath, in terms of the mainnet. When people like to say, this is not doing anything when it comes to the price charts of XCN. Well, it's not really meant to do that anyways, in my opinion. I think it's more so meant for the longevity of the project, so I don't view it as such a bad thing anyways. But even besides that point though, for me to hypothetically go to Brazil anyways, in my opinion, XCN doesn't even really need to maybe see an altcoin season. Now, I'd be very happy, in my opinion, but if XCN either goes to around 1 billion in terms of market cap again, like what we saw last year, anywhere between that and beyond, basically, I have zero complaints on my part. That's the way to take a look at it. If XCN goes back to around 1 billion in terms of market cap, I'm going to Brazil and practicing my Portuguese. That's the way to take a look at it. So again, at the end of the day, I mean, when it comes to XCN, would an altcoin season be absolutely awesome? Yeah, of course. Why would that be a bad thing? But if it never sees one, I mean, I have no complaints on my end if it could maybe go back to around 1 billion in terms of market cap. But we'll wait and see. I mean, as of right now, we're still around 5 times lower than that. But seriously, like, again, around 5 times lower. Bitcoin's on around 5 times lower than any point it's ever reached, even in history, let alone 2025. But I'm just saying, this is the way you take a look at it. So yeah, when it comes to something like Onyx, sure, it may seem a little bit boring, but I feel like the point for me is, as of right now, is to kind of enter at moments when things are considered boring or when things are hypothetically considered kind of low. The reason why I view it that way is because I think a better analogy actually would be like, again, watching a movie where I go inside the movie after it's been playing for over an hour. It's like, oh, come on. At that point, all the stuff has already happened. But the thing is, when it comes to the space, people usually care about it after things have already happened. But that's kind of counterintuitive on my end because the way you take a look at it, so what, I'm going to wait until things happen before I believe? No, I'm not going to do that. The key for me is to believe before, right? In which case, as of right now, is XCN at an all-time low? No, it's not, but it's still around 5 times lower than a point in which we've seen around just over a year ago, basically. So, to me, I still kind of view it as hypothetically, relatively speaking, low when compared to back then. So when I take a look at something like Onyx, I mean, I just haven't given up personally. Again, this is just my personal outlook as of right now. When it comes to Onyx, keep in mind, people like to tell me that launching Goliath anyways isn't really going to do anything because they think that it's completely, just undermatched, right? When compared to something like Stellar, or should I say the Stellar blockchain, which of course we all know is very fast. It has good adoption, allegedly. So when it comes to that right there, people like to say, what's the point of even having, Goliath if Stellar is already right there? They think it's kind of a waste, right? But here's my kind of rebuttal to that, right? Is there only one pizza restaurant in New York? No, there's a lot. I mean, sure, there's some that are better than others, arguably, people would like to say, but there's not only one. Having already like a very well-known option, I think, is not an excuse not to try other options, right? In a sense where, okay, sure, there's like maybe a bunch of projects out there that are focused on global trade finance, and also some of them, much like in the case of Stellar, may have already really amazing adoption. However, I don't see what's so wrong about trying, right? I mean, sometimes if I don't try, how would I know? Even though I'm not telling anyone to do anything, but when it comes to Onyx, if they don't try with something called Goliath, how would they ever know? The only way for them to know is if they tried, right? And anyways, the way to take a look at it is, it's like in real life, let's say, is there only one watch brand? No, I mean, there's a bunch. There's Seiko, there's Casio, there's, Rolex. I mean, there's a bunch. But take a look at my G-Shock, by the way. I actually got it in Japan. It's the GW5000HS. A subtle flex right there, right? My G-Shock. But yeah, besides that point, there's not only one watch brand, right? Maybe some are better than others, but at the end of the day, there's not only just one. Sometimes people like options. So when I take a look at this space, I kind of view it no different. Yes, Stellar does exist. It's already kind of doing its thing. It's already up and running. But I think Goliath, if they do launch that, the mainnet, which supposedly it's in around 10 days from right now, they're going to be doing that, right? I don't see why not, right? At least they tried. I kind of view, the launch of Onyx's layer one blockchain called Goliath kind of like learning a new language. Maybe it's not directly used right now. However, it could maybe matter later on. But yeah, besides that point though, it's been pretty much it as of right now. All I can do is wait, but that's really all I'm doing, right? I mean, I can't do anything more than that. But I'll be sure to make more updates when it comes to Onyx. If, they do release any more updates, or if there's any news, I'll be sure to talk about that. So hopefully y'all stay tuned for future videos. It's Mali the Captain, and hopefully I'll see y'all in Brazil. Oh wait, I mean, hopefully I'll see y'all in the next one. So yeah, I'm on peace. Bye.